Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to this webinar. So I'll start by introducing our speaker for today. Is our CEO. So let me start. So our CEO is called Mr. Oluwaseun Adekanmi. Oluwaseun Adekanmi is an alumnus of two colleges of engineering, the College of Engineering at the University of Michigan Ann Arbor, United States of America, where he got admission into at 16, and the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Lagos, Akoka, where he was class governor from his first year and helped successfully implement the first website for the University of Lagos Engineering Society with past questions for students to study better. He won the North American Solar Challenge in 2005 as a member of the University of Michigan Solar Car Team Momentum Racing from Calgary, Canada to Austin, Texas, beating the likes of MIT and Missouri Roller. His team went on to place third in the World Solar Challenge. In Australia the same year, as an undergraduate research scholar at the University of Michigan, he worked with greats such as Prof. Brian Gilchrist of Wireless Integrated Microsystems and Prof. Kotov on proton exchange membrane for fuel cells. An avid media enthusiast, he founded Unleash Media, a pace setter in communications technology in 2008 in Chicago, and went on to register Crystal Hills Software Group, Inc. in Lawrenceville, Georgia on February 24th, 2011 with employer ID number 27 5415 446. So Mr. Sheung, please can you take us on the webinar now?
All right, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I see some names here. Mubarak. How are you guys doing?
Can you guys unmute and talk, please?
Okay, sir, we are fine, sir.
You can just give a wave if you don't want to talk.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Can we get to know you, Mubarak?
Okay.
Like, what do you do? Are you in our academy? How did you hear about this webinar?
Actually, someone referred me to this group. That's why I joined. So,
Okay, so what course are you taking with us at CHSG Academy? What course are you registered for?
I don't know yet.
You don't know the course you are registered. You should have you picked the course now when you fill the form. What was the course you picked? I'm with you, Mubarak. What was the course you picked?
You said the service is not good.
I said, what was the course you picked? The course you picked. Was it product management? Was it data analytics? Was it product management? Was it front-end engineering? What course did you pick when you joined our academy?
Yes, I picked that data analysis.
Okay, so have you attended your first class?
This is my first class.
No, I mean, apart from this, have you attended any other class in our academy this week?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So I think somebody's using an HP system. Who is that? Can you unmute? And I like to know the people that are in my webinar. Do you mind unmuting HP? I don't know who that is. Thank you, Mubarak. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
HP. Okay. Good afternoon. Who is there? HP, what's your name, please? Sorry.
My name is Sulaiman.
Your name is Sulaiman?
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you, Sulaiman. Are you in our current cohort that started classes this week?
Sir?
Are you in our current academy, or how did you hear about this webinar?
Edtech.
Okay, Oguntech community. Awesome. I'm a proud member of Oguntech community also. All right, glad to have everybody here. So today we're going to be talking about cybersecurity, and I've been doing this tech thing since 2004, my freshman year in college, and so this will be like my 20th year doing tech. I'd like to ask, first of all, does anybody have any experience with cybersecurity? Has anybody maybe done any course on cybersecurity? So I know where to start from. Like, I like this to be interactive. So are you with me? Has anybody done any cybersecurity course before?
No, sir.
Nobody has done any cybersecurity course. Okay. So I know where to start from. Like, that means I'm starting from ground up. Okay. All right. So what do you understand by cybersecurity? Let's start from there. Does anybody have any idea what cybersecurity, what does it entail? What do cybersecurity people do? That kind of a thing. Before I even jump into my slides, so that we don't get ahead of ourselves. Does anybody have an idea what cybersecurity means? Anybody? If you don't talk, it's this webinar will not be fun. I want to hear from Uchechi. What do you understand by cybersecurity? I'm waiting. What do you understand by cybersecurity? Uchechi.
So I went from my own understanding. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
So from my own understanding, okay. It's about protecting applications, clerks, and
Go ahead. I'm with you, Uchechi. You said it's protecting something. I didn't get that.
Yes. I said it's protecting let's say cloud based applications, websites,
Okay, all right, that's good enough. That's good enough. That's good enough. So before I don't want to jump into my slides really like quick. I want to make this as fun as possible, as relatable as possible. So everybody here has heard of Yahoo Boys, right? Yahoo Boys, Yahoo Boys. Has everybody heard of Yahoo
Yes, sir.
Boys here? Okay, Mubarak,
Yes,
you've
sir.
heard of Yahoo Boys. Okay. So do you understand what Yahoo Boys do? Like, you understand what they do, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
exactly. So Yahoo Boys are part of kind of like the people that attack individuals in society. They go around asking intelligent questions so as to penetrate either your banking details, or they are very, very smart individuals. Let's put it that way. Now, in layman's term, what we're trying to do is protect ourselves from people like that. It's not just Yahoo Boys. We have people that send emails out and act like banks. We have people that send SMS out. Have you gotten any SMS recently that said there's a job for you somewhere?
Yes,
No, sir.
yes.
Exactly. So I want it to be as relatable as possible. So before we go into the in-depth and start saying, okay, this is all cybersecurity and all that, on a ground level, that's what cybersecurity is on a layman's level. I want to be able to explain to you that such a way that even if you're a nursery school student and you hear this later on YouTube or on Facebook, you'll be able to understand that there are some bad guys out there that want to take your stuff, and cybersecurity helps you to protect it. So the same way in Nigeria, we have burglary proof, we have iron doors, we have all these things. They help us to protect ourselves from physical thieves. Now we're just taking that protection to another level on the internet. When you go on the internet, most of the time you on your data. Immediately you on your data, you're exposing yourself to so many other people all over the world. We're exposing yourself to people on Facebook, people on Twitter. Can you unmute? Can everybody mute their mic, please, so that it doesn't filter into the recording? Umbara, can you help me mute your mic? All right, perfect. So on a layman's level, that's what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to protect ourselves from cybersecurity, from cyber threats. And there is a certification exam called the Certified Ethical Hacker. And you see the keyword there is ethical. So there are guys that are so good at this hacking and can hack into banks. You've heard of stories of people that hacked into bank and gave away all the money. You get, and so many other type of people that were able to hack into school system, change their grades. But the key word in the certification exam that I want to introduce to the world, especially people in Nigeria, because so many people don't know about the certification, is the CEH certification exam. And like I said earlier, it's called the Certified Ethical Hacker. The key word there is ethical. So the word ethical simply means that you are above reproach, you're a person of integrity. So even if you are able to penetrate through the system of, say, a GT Bank or the system of Access Bank, you will not take all their money. You will rather send an email to their compliance team or their SOC team, that's their security operating center, saying, I was able to break into your system. I'll give you a good example. I went to University of Lagos, and while we were at University of Lagos, there was somewhere called the LG Lab. The LG Lab had so many programmers, and it was kind of like our incubating place. We spent hours, you get, coding there. I'm talking about sometimes 3 days straight. No joke. We didn't go to the like restroom to shower or do anything like that. We just worked on our craft, which was coding and coding and coding. So while boys were coding and everything, we found out a loophole in our CITS system, and we actually could change things. So it started from, first of all, if you're familiar with the federal university system in Nigeria, you have to ballot for hostels. So we first found a loophole that we could use to get hostels. Then we found another loophole. I'm just like, this video is going out there. Thankfully, we didn't do bad things with it. Then we also found another loophole to even the grading system of the University of Lagos. And luckily then, the director of CITS, Professor Mowete, was from my faculty of engineering. So he said, you know what, you guys, we went to meet him. Some of us went to meet him and we were like, sir, we found some loopholes on the website. In fact, on one of the April 1st days, we were able to hack into the University of Lagos website and put rubbish, let me just put it like that, rubbish on the homepage of the University of Lagos. And we were able to show them their vulnerabilities, that this is where you're vulnerable and this is how we can help you protect yourself. We're not the bad guys. We were able to penetrate into your system, but these are the loopholes. So that is basically kind of an example of using cybersecurity to protect the greater good of the society. And then you have other instances. There are instances where I was part of an organization called CCERT. So they brought in the top, I'll call them maybe 25 of us, cybersecurity experts all over West Africa. It was not just a Nigerian thing, all over West Africa. They brought us from all the top schools, and I was part of them. We had the training at the University of Lagos CITS also. And, during the training, guys were from Canada, guys were from Ghana, guys were from Togo, guys from the University of Sokoto. In fact, this session, I was not meant to take it. The person that was meant to take it, Mr. Muntaka Bube, is from the University of Sokoto, but last minute, he had another thing come up, and I just had to take over for the whole presentation. Now, during that training, it was organized by Echo Connect. What they did was they put us in groups, and we had to come up with a protection system for our organization. So I was a programmer. I'm primarily a programmer. I'm a back-end programmer. So they put me in a team with other, network security people, and there was an advantage to my team having a programmer in there, because normally most protection teams, most SOC teams are filled with network people. And network people sometimes don't understand the product that is being protected. So it's like, imagine we have a security man in front of a bank, and the security man does not know what he's protecting. It's going to be very, very difficult to protect that building or that infrastructure the best way you can protect it, because they don't understand what they are protecting. The product itself, they don't understand it. So I brought in the perspective of, I'm a programmer. This is what I built. This is the code I used to build this and this and this. I know the lines of code. I know where there are vulnerabilities in my code. This is now how we can protect it. And I think they brought two guys from, if I'm correct, Poland to train us. And those guys, after asserting our reports, we had to come up with a report for our organization. It was a fictional organization. All of them said, this our team, my team, had the best security protocols. And they were now like, why does my team have the best security protocols? And then they now found out that there was a programmer in their midst. And they're like, how did a programmer get into a cybersecurity training? And then obviously my director then said, oh, he's also into cybersecurity, but he has a background in programming. Now, let's even take it closer home. A lot of us heard about Patricia. Patricia was a company that helped people to trade in gift cards and everything. And they went down. Patricia went down a few months ago. But before they went down, Patricia was literally sponsoring the biggest program in Nigeria. Patricia was sponsoring Big Brother Africa. And Big Brother Africa is not a small program. To be the main person that is sponsoring Big Brother Africa, you needed to be very, very buoyant. But 2 years down the line, Patricia is owing people thousands of naira. In fact, not thousands, millions, not even millions. I'm talking about millions of dollars. Why? Because they claim that an hacker hacked their portal and everybody's money disappeared. So that's how important cybersecurity is. We're not protecting physical goods, but everybody knows that everything is digital. Since the cash scarcity happened in Nigeria in February, we literally have now all adopted digital transfers. I don't carry cash anymore. I go from place to place. I either make a transfer or I find the closest POS, withdraw the small money I want to use if the person I want to buy from doesn't own a means to get my digital payments. Let's even take it back a little bit so we can put it in context. For us here in Nigeria, we had the NSAS. And when we had the NSAS, everything was put on hold because some hackers were in support of the NSAS movement. And so these hackers started by hacking the GoTV network and hacking the DSTV network. And everybody was watching DSTV for free, watching GoTV for free. That shows you the importance of cybersecurity. Our world, our life, digital print, our medical records, everything is on the internet. So if I might deviate a little bit and not even enter my slides at all today, but I want us to get how important cybersecurity is and how important this certification exam is, so that when you are looking to go for a tech training later on, for those listening on YouTube, you will not just look at front-end engineering or back-end engineering, or look at what are the other popular trainings that we have, product management training, product design, UI, UX. You will also consider that cybersecurity is a paramount skill to acquire. So, cybersecurity is paramount in the digital era. And we have to understand that becoming a certified ethical hacker, that CEH, can be a solid step forward. The path to CEH certification typically involves studying various aspects of cybersecurity. I've mentioned them, such as network security, ethical hacking techniques, and information security policies. Now, training courses, self-study materials, and practical experience through labs or real-world projects can all contribute to success in obtaining the CEH certification. It's a challenging yet rewarding journey for those passionate about safeguarding your digital system and data. Now, when we were pushing the content for this cybersecurity all over, you saw something about come and learn how to use machine learning and how to use artificial intelligence to protect your SOC. And a lot of you might be wondering, what is SOC? What is SOC? What is SOC they are talking about? Welcome, Mr. John Tafu. You can mute your mic.
Thank you.
I've gone over why cybersecurity is important. Why is it so important? Why are we spending an hour talking about cybersecurity? Because we need to protect our digital assets. Our entire world is now on the digital world, on the digital internet, from our digital payments to our medical records to even our farmers. Our farmers rely on sensors to help them control all their farmlands, to help them control their water irrigation system. We rely on, even the street lights rely on tech. Imagine if somebody just hacked PHCN or hacked the internet, and we don't have internet. Remember about a few weeks ago when we had just a meltdown in the internet in Nigeria, and we could remember how that was. we couldn't send money, people were stranded. That's just a typical example of how our world is on the digital internet, and we have to protect it. And you, as a tech person starting your career, you stand a chance to make a lot of money if you position yourself rightly now in 2024 with a CH certification. So the SOC we are talking about is a security operations center. It's a team of IT security professionals that protect the organization by monitoring, detecting, analyzing, and investigating cyber threats. So my assistant is telling me I should stop here and ask, does anybody have any questions before I go on? You can see I'm not even going into my slides, and I don't have to get into my slides because I want us to understand why cybersecurity is so important. So if I don't get into my slides and it's just me explaining for you to understand, I've done my job in this 1 hour webinar. So she has told me time up for my first half. Does anybody have any question? I need questions. I need this to be interactive. Thank you so much, Uchechi, for signaling me.
Yes, I have a question. Yes, I have a question.
All right, please go ahead.
Yes, you talked about programming. Wait, does one actually need to be a programmer? Does one need to have a little knowledge of programming to be a better cybersecurity expert? Or
all right,
hello?
great question, Uchechi. Great question. Do you need to have programming knowledge to be a cybersecurity expert? Okay, so now, as a
We can't hear you, Mr. Shem.
sorry. Okay, are you with me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now let me put it this way. Let me try and explain that by going further and into cybersecurity. Cybersecurity itself is the practice of protecting computer systems, networks, and data from digital attacks. Now, I'll repeat that again. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting computer systems, networks, and data from digital attacks. So from that definition itself, you can deduct if you need programming to protect computer systems. Computer systems itself runs on code, on algorithms, on a basic, very, very, very basic level. It's on zeros and ones. And if we are being honest with ourselves, yes, you can go into cybersecurity without being a really good programmer. But for those that joined late, I was talking about a training I went for with EcoConnect as a CSERT person, and about 25 of us from all over West Africa. And they broke us into teams of 5, 4, and told us to write a protocol to protect our organization, our fictional organization. So we had guys from University of Sokoto, guys from Accra, Ghana, guys from all over. And the reason why my team won was because among all those network security professionals, I was the only programmer. So I was able to see angles that the normal network security person would not see. So to answer your question, I would say you have an added advantage if you understand at least little code, understand what backend engineering is, understand the databases you are trying to protect. If you don't understand the databases you're trying to protect, there's no way you will protect it. I give you the example again of the security man that is protecting GT Bank and does not understand the structure of the bank behind him. It will be very hard for that security man to protect it. So I hope I've answered your question, Uchechi.
Yes, thank you.
So, any other questions, please? Let's as interactive as possible. Mubarak, Mr. John. Mr. John is in our current cybersecurity class, so we're going to delve into this more in the next 12 weeks. You can't pay 300K and not get more than what we are talking about in this webinar. This webinar is kind of like I'll call it appetizer to introduce you to the world of cybersecurity. And we have our cohort 2 starting May 15th. Yes, I have to advertise our program. We started cohort 1 April 15th. So for those on YouTube listening later on, you can always go to CHSG Tech/training 2024 and sign up. So having said that, Mr. Mubarak, Mr. John, do you have any questions or can I go on? Mr. Hafiz Suleiman, I've not heard you talk. Mr. Hafiz Suleiman, can you unmute and say something? I like this to be interactive. I don't want to be the only one talking.
I'm the one that I joined before that you use HP system.
Okay. Awesome. Welcome back. Did I get the name right? Hafiz Suleiman, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So, are you following so far? Do you understand everything so far?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right. Good. So, can I go on?
Yes, you can go on.
All right. So, we talked about the Yahoo boys, and we now talk about protecting computer systems. But no matter how much you protect your computer system, cybersecurity is so crucial because I don't know how to put this. I want to make this as simple as possible. Uchechi, you can see that everybody has said I should go on. No? So I've given time for question and answer, and I have 1 hour. So I have about 28 more minutes to finish my presentation, and I'll try and run through it because I have a lot here to cover. This is like a field I'm excited about because I hate people crying when they lose their digital assets. It hurts me because a lot of times the people these Yahoo boys attack are old people. I'm talking about people that have saved their life savings. And imagine somebody just coming and just stealing all your life savings. It's the most painful thing in the world. And you as a cybersecurity expert, you are protecting that young person that doesn't understand so much about digital assets, or that old woman that has her savings and one Yahoo boy somewhere wants to take all her savings away. And that is how powerful you can become with a CEH certification. It's expensive, but the rewards are numerous. So now, it's crucial. Cybersecurity is crucial because our reliance on technology grows daily, and so do the threats. So cyber attacks can disrupt businesses. We've talked about that. Steal sensitive information and even endanger lives. Let me explain that. If you just lost all your life savings as an old woman, like literally you lose all your life savings, you could literally have hypertension and die. You could have high blood pressure and die. And that is how critical cybersecurity is. So effective cybersecurity measures help safeguard against these threats, ensuring the confidentiality, the integrity, and availability of data and systems. Now, let's get into like the landscape of cybersecurity itself. The cybersecurity landscape is vast. It's so vast, I can't cover it in 12 weeks. Even for those people that are in our 12 weeks course. It's so vast, and it is constantly evolving. That is why it's so hard to keep up with. It encompasses a wide range of areas, and I'll mention some of those areas as we go on. Some of them include threats. There's various types of cyber threats, such as malware, phishing, ransomware, and of course, denial of service attacks. I won't go into that detail now because we will spend too much time there. And then other areas include technologies where cybersecurity technologies include firewalls, antivirus, software encryption, intrusion, detection systems, and more. And then the landscape of cybersecurity also includes the practices. We have best practices in cybersecurity, including regular software updates. We've seen our phone apps come up with regular software updates. Our system also comes up and says, you need to update something on your system, a system update. Do you want to restart your system? Then we have strong password policies. Those are practices that help us with cybersecurity, having strong passwords for our elderly, ensuring that those passwords is not your birthday or your anniversary or something that people can easily guess, or the birthday of your child, but strong passwords that you keep somewhere very, very safe. When I was working at Union Registrars, we used to have to cram about 20 passwords per day that we changed every day. That's how strong password policies work. Employee training also. If you have a business, you have to constantly train your employees to understand that there is a threat out there. If you have an hospital, for example, if somebody should hack and penetrate the medical records of all your patients, it can be disastrous, because then they could publish it for one, they could use it as a ransom, they could swap the medical records. Maybe somebody who is type B blood or type OA positive, and they swap it, and then you are now giving the person the wrong blood. You are losing lives literally by not being conversant with the latest cybersecurity processes, and also training your employees on security awareness. And security awareness goes beyond just locking your laptop, not giving anybody your password, just being even physically conscious of your surroundings, of what is going on around you, knowing people that are coming in and out of your organization. Okay, if you have a school, for example, and then somebody comes in to pick up a child, and maybe you have a security protocol that they have to send a code on their phone to maybe the supervisor of the school, and maybe a tag system to say that, okay, they are the person allowed to come and pick the system. What if your security protocol has been hacked, and then they go ahead, God forbid, they are kidnappers, and they pick up a child from your school, and you are in front of a judge, and the judge is saying, ma'am, you are the owner of the school. You are responsible for this child. How did this child go? And you start murmuring and going, you know what? They sent the code, and the code matched what was on our system. Ma'am, they hacked you. That is, so nobody is exempted from understanding security awarenesses and training employees to be able to understand the security procedures, and also incident response planning. So when an incident happens in your organization, be it a medical organization, a school, military organization, every organization has digital assets. There is a protocol to this incident response planning, and we go over it in our CEH certification. Like I said, it's just an opener. Also, another landscape area is compliance. Like many industries have regulatory requirements for cybersecurity. We have the GDPR in Europe. We have the HIPAA in healthcare. I will go over this later on in my presentation, but I have to speed up right now because I have a lot to cover. Then we also have emerging trends. As technology advances, we have new cybersecurity challenges that emerge, such as securing Internet of Things devices, cloud security, and artificial intelligence in cybersecurity. Now, navigating this landscape of cybersecurity requires a combination of technical expertise, one, strategic planning, two, and ongoing vigilance to stay ahead of evolving threats. And this is where I want to hamper on these evolving threats. The evolution of cybersecurity and current trends is something that you can do a PhD on, but I'll try and go over it in the few 20 minutes I have left. Cybersecurity has evolved significantly over the years, adapting to new technologies and threats. And let me add that the slides for this presentation, the document, you don't have to be rushing to take notes. The PowerPoint presentation, the PDF is going to be available. We're going to put up a link. It's going to be shared on the OpenTech community and all the other communities that have heard about this program. It's going to be on the YouTube link bio also. So don't worry about trying to write everything down. Just pay attention and try and understand. I believe in an understanding more than writing. So cybersecurity has evolved significantly over the years, no doubt about it, adapting to new technologies and threats. And I will go over a brief overview of this evolution and some current trends. So early days, initially cybersecurity focused on protecting individual computers and networks from basic threats like viruses and worms. And then we now had the rise of the internet. With the growth of the internet, we had cybersecurity expanding to protect interconnected systems, leading to development of firewalls, antivirus software. We had a lot of them then, and intrusion detection system. And then we now had a phase of enterprise focus, where as businesses embraced digital technologies, cybersecurity became a critical concern for protecting sensitive data, leading to the rise of enterprise-grade security solutions and practices. Then we now had the era of mobile and cloud computing, where everything was stored on Google Drives, you get Microsoft OneDrive, everything was connected. And the proliferation of these mobile devices and cloud computing introduced new security challenges, such as securing data on remote servers. I have a website here in Nigeria, and the server is in Arkansas, United States. And we started protecting mobile apps from exploitation, bank apps, GT Bank app, Access Bank app, yet our Payoneer, for those that receive remote job money. Everything is on the digital internet now. Then we now went to the stage of IoT security. The Internet of Things brought about a new frontier for cybersecurity as billions of connected devices became vulnerable. So we had the Echo, we could say, hello, Google, we could say, Google, play me this. And because of this Internet of Things in our house, because of these smart homes that we started having, we have homes in Lekki now that we have estates, not even homes, estates in Lekki that are literally controlled from the door to the security gate. You see a webcam that will tell you that a pizza guy is coming to give you pizza. The pizza guy will come to your door. You get a biometric. Your finger is what you're going to use to open the door. Your clap is what's going to put on the lights. Now imagine if somebody has access to that. They could literally put your house on fire by just honing the oven or putting on the fan at a very, very high speed. We even have cars now that are self-driven. And I don't know if that will work in Nigeria with our potholes. But the Internet of Things is here to stay. And securing all these IoT devices and networks becomes a significant focus for cybersecurity experts like myself and people like you that are up and coming that want to get into the cybersecurity space. Then we have data privacy regulations, the implementation of data privacy regulations, like I mentioned this earlier, the GDPR, that's the General Data Protection Regulation, and just recently released in about March 2024. That's why I told you that this landscape is ever evolving. We had the CCPA, that's the California Consumer Privacy Act. I think the importance of protecting personal and sensitive. You can Google this GDPR to learn more about it. Like I said, I can't go over everything. I have just 15 minutes left. But I want to just give you an overview of what the CHSG certification can do for you. And we have other aspects. We have AI and automation. AI and machine learning are being increasingly used in cybersecurity for threat detection, because you can't detect every threat that comes. But with artificial intelligence, just as you can use ChatGPT for your lesson notes in school, just as you can use ChatGPT for your projects, you can also use that same artificial intelligence for the increasing cybersecurity threats out there. Anomaly detection, automated response to attacks. However, I will mention this, that there are also concerns about the potential for AI-driven cyber attacks. That means the open AI can even also take over, and there's been some concerns by people in the AI industry. I'm sure you saw the drama that happened with OpenAI recently and with Sam Altman and the rest. So it's a really exciting field, and I just want to pick your interest and say, hey, cybersecurity is something I can do that not a lot of people are doing. Now, we also have zero trust security. That's the zero trust security model. It assumes that threats may exist both inside and outside the network as gain traction. and it emphasizes strict access controls and continuous verification of users and devices. So that is, if you access, for example, the email of your company from another device, you have to protect it. Because if you don't protect that device, if you're only protected on your laptop and you access your company email on your mobile device, maybe your tab, that could give hackers an easy access to the back end of your company, losing your company not millions but billions of naira. I used to work closely with a mentor that was working at one of the top Fortune 50 companies in Nigeria. I won't mention the name. And he was joking about how whenever they got to sites, they were in charge of protecting a lot of these MTN masks and all that. That when young graduates come, the supervisor then used to shout on them that this mistake you made just cost us 4.6 billion naira. And they used to think he was joking until they became managers and they realized that he was actually telling the truth, that that mistake they just made cost the company 4.6 billion naira. That is how serious cybersecurity is. There is literally little room for mistake because a lot is at stake. So we have cybersecurity skill gaps. There's a growing shortage, and this is where I want to hamper on. If there's anything you get from this webinar today, is that there is a growing shortage of cybersecurity professionals worldwide. There is a growing shortage. My goodness, if you understand demand and supply, you understand that if something is in low supply, you can charge any amount, literally. Like, I've gone to organizations before where they're like, Sheon, please help us do this and this, this and that. Oil and gas companies, I told you I used to work at union registrars, and I was the one calling my price. Not because of anything, but because I have a knowledge, they don't have the knowledge, and there's a scarcity of cybersecurity professionals. And one of the ways to prove you're a cybersecurity professional to anybody in the world is just show them your CEH certification. It's not just a CEH certification. I was still on a call this afternoon. A US number called me. I was wondering what the US number. I was like, is he Yahoo Boys? I picked it. It was an Indian guy that was talking. It was from the EH Council. And he was talking about how they want to partner with us. And I was wondering, small boy me in Abeokuta, how did they know about me? And that's to tell you that no matter where you are, as long as you are competent and you're excellent, people will look for you. People will pay you millions and thousands of dollars to help them solve their problem. I used to say this to people. You either solve a little problem for a lot of people, or you solve a big problem, a very big problem for very few people. So I can solve just a cybersecurity problem just for the ATMs in Nigeria, and I can be a billionaire for the rest of my life. I can solve money points problem of hackers, and I can be a billionaire also because there are so many money point agents. I have 10 more minutes, and I know Uchechi is going to cut me off once it's 10 minutes. So I'm going to rush through this. So there is that cybersecurity skill gap, the growing shortage of cybersecurity professionals, leading organizations to invest in training, development programs to build and retain talent. We inside CHSG Technologies, we are partly doing this Learn Now, Pay Later program, not because we want to just be charitable, but because we know that when we train talents like Mr. John or Mr. Fesiayo or Mr. John Paul, head of security at Faith Tabernacle, they in turn can train other people. We've been doing trainings for the past 8 years or 6 years, 2017 till date. We started from Unilag Programming Summit, Covenant University Dev Bootcamp. Last year we had at Mapoli Dev Bootcamp. Literally, people that we've trained over the years have now in turn come back to help us train other people. And that's the beauty about ensuring that you train, you invest in training. And this is going out on YouTube too. I have to encourage even our government leaders, from our state governors to our senators, to please empower our youth. You see these Yahoo boys that are doing cyber crimes. It's the perverse negative of cybersecurity. My mentor, Miles Monroe, before he died, used to say that when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. That means if you don't know the purpose of something, you will abuse it. Let me give you a typical example. And he used to give this example. If you don't know the purpose of cocaine, you will abuse it. But cocaine is actually used to numb the pain in hospitals. There are cocaine in hospital drawers, and nurses give it to patients that are in severe pain. But people have abused it, and it's caused drug abuse. Now, 9 more minutes. Let me try and rush through this. So there is that gap. And then we also have supply chain security. Now, let me try and go through decoding cyber attacks in a few minutes I have and their consequences. So cyber attacks comes in various forms. We have to understand that malware, phishing, malware is basically malicious software such as viruses, worms, and ransomware that can infect computers through flash drive that they say, I don't want you to plug my flash drive on my system. And it can lead to data theft, financial loss, and system disruption. Now, the way I'm looking at this cybersecurity webinar and how it is going, we might have to have a part 2 because you guys are paying rapt attention. Nobody's disrupting me, which means either means I'm making a lot of sense or otherwise. But I want to hope I'm making a lot of sense. So we might have to have a part 2, which you just note that, and maybe that will be like in 3 weeks' time or 4 weeks' time. I don't know. We'll figure something out because we already have a planned webinars for next week and upper week. So maybe in 3 weeks' time, we have a part 2 for the cybersecurity. So ransomware attacks in particular can encrypt files and demand payment for decryption. So they can, say, for example, decrypt your files on your system or decrypt the files on your Google Drive and you can't access them. And then they ask you for money. You get. Now, the job of a certified ethical hacker is to help somebody like that to get back their information. And it can also cause significant downtime and financial damage. We remembered when we had internet issues in Nigeria about 3 weeks ago and you could not even transfer. So we have phishing also. Phishing attacks involve tricking users into revealing sensitive information such as passwords or financial data through fraudulent emails, websites, or messages. Consequences can include identity theft, it can include financial fraud, and unauthorized access to accounts or systems. Then we also have denial of service, that's DOS, and we have distributed denial of service, that's DDoS. We've heard about this, but we'll go into it a little bit. These attacks overwhelm websites or networks, and with a flood of traffic, causing them to become inaccessible to legitimate users. So you now have so many people supposedly going on a website, and then the bandwidth is broken, and legitimate people cannot access GT Bank. So the consequences can include service downtime also, loss of revenue, and damage. Now, for my last 5 minutes, I want to go to the moneymaker and get you kind of your interest piqued. Because when you see the amounts we want to collect for our training, 300,000 naira, you're going, where I want to find 309,000 naira? Let's go through the cause and effect. Like, after this 300,000 naira, what's going to happen? Like, I paid 300,000 naira, what next? Someone like Mr. John Tafu can be saying that, like, I'm in your training already. I hope it's worth it though. Maybe it's moving my life savings. We'll go through other things. Like I said, we're going to have to have a part 2 of this. And this is going to be on YouTube. We'll try and send it to everybody on this call. I think I can have access to everybody's email. And like I said, the PDF for the slides will be available. Okay? But let's go to the bread and butter because we are Nigerians. Most of us here are Nigerians. You get why do I want to invest in cybersecurity training? Why do I want to invest in cybersecurity education and cybersecurity and certification programs? Is to develop a pipeline, first of all, of skilled professionals. There is nothing like excellence. When I was in my first degree at University of Michigan in the US, I listened to a lot of people talk about racism. And I used to say that for my 8 years in the US, I never faced racism. I'll be honest with that. I never faced racism because excellence is the antidote to racism. If you are so good, a white man will come and pay you money to come and help them fix their system. If you are so good, a white man, we did a job for somebody in Nebraska about 2 years ago. And I remember somebody asking me, don't they have developers in Nebraska? They might have, but favor plus our skill prepared us for that position at CHSG, and we were able to build something for a lecturer of data science in University of Nebraska. So investing in cybersecurity training is very, very key. It helps develop a pipeline of skilled professionals. And I'll reiterate again, this is my second time saying that we'll beg our government leaders, because it's going to be on YouTube, to please empower our youths. Turn those Yahoo boys into skilled professionals in cybersecurity. What they're just doing is just abuse of purpose. They don't yet know their purpose. A lot of them are very, very smart individuals. Then we have to provide opportunities for hands-on experience, internships, and mentorship to help individuals. So after our 3 months training, we're going to be doing 3 months internships where you will learn real world, not theory. Not doing academic is not theory, but this one is now a real account. Somebody paid you to protect them. Somebody paid CHSG to protect them, and you are working with a senior engineer, obviously, on the account. So providing those opportunities for hands-on experience, internship, and mentorship to help individuals gain practical cyber skills in Africa and in Nigeria, to be particular, is very important. And then we have encouraging diversity and inclusion initiatives to attack talent from diverse backgrounds and perspectives, because we know the tech industry is a male-dominated field. We have to foster a culture of lifelong learning. Like I said earlier in my talk, tech world is ever evolving. It is ever evolving. The technology, I told you about the new law, the California Privacy Act, that was just enacted just in March of 2024. Imagine if you are calling yourself a cybersecurity expert and you don't know about that California Act that was just enacted last month. So it's a culture of lifelong learning. And with that, I will end by saying this, that cybersecurity is wide. We can't cover it in 3 months. We can't cover it in 5 years. You go to Google, you enroll in schools like CHSG Academy. Not just CHSG Academy, there are other academies out there. I'm friends with Mr. Victor Adeleye that runs Grazak Academy in Abeokuta. I'm also friends with Mr. Sheon Hamza that runs Kibo Schools. There are so many schools that are running excellent programs yet in tech. And if you acquire these skills, with my 2 minutes that is left, you can be on the cutting edge to take your family out of penury for life, because people are ready to part with their dollars, their pounds, everything to secure their digital assets. Now, I'll end with my last 2 minutes on lucrative and high in demand cybersecurity jobs. There are several cybersecurity roles out there. They are both lucrative and high in demand due to the increasing need of organizations to protect their digital assets from cyber threats. And I'll mention a few of them in my last 2 minutes. We have a Chief Information Security Officer, that's a CICO. They're responsible for overseeing an organization's overall cybersecurity strategy and ensuring that security measures align with business goals and regulatory requirements. CIO roles often come with high salaries and significant responsibilities. But I'll end with this. We have security architects also. We have penetration testers. We have security operations center analysts, incident response managers. We have security consultants, forensic analysts. They investigate security incidents. Those are forensics. You probably watch CSIS on TV, and cyber crimes by collecting, analyzing. So when those Yahoo boys do their work, a forensic analyst will come and say, okay, money was stolen from this old woman. How they use forensic techniques and tools and techniques to reconstruct cyber attacks, identify perpetrators, and support legal proceedings. We have security software developers. There are security software developers that design, develop, and maintain security-related software and tools to protect against cyber threats. They may specialize in areas such as cryptography, secure coding, or security testing. With that, my time is up. Thank you so much. Any questions? Uchechi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheon, for your time. Does anyone have any question before we end the webinar?
These guys ask
Any
questions. That's why we had 15 minutes extra after 5 o'clock for questions. There has to be like, oh, that I made perfect sense. Mr. John, do you have any questions? No questions. Is it that I made so much sense, or it was above your head? Was it above your head? Let's just get that. Mr. Afiz Sulaiman, Mr. Mubarak, Mr. John, you can unmute your mic, please. Just want to get feedback from here. Mr. John, can you unmute your mic? And my mom is on the call also from New York. Hi, Mom. Wow. Mr. John, go ahead. Mommy, everybody's greeting you, Mommy. Mommy, you can unmute your mic and say hi too. I don't know, she might be in a class.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, John, how are you?
Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir. I really enjoyed the class. Very interesting. So for now, I still don't have any question. Hello, sir. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, he said he doesn't have any question.
All right, thank you, everybody. You can always reach out to me. My email is sheung@chsgtech.com, and Uchechi is also here. Our email is uchechi.ugwari@chsgtech.com. Thank you, everyone, for your time. We'll see you at next webinar. Next webinar is going to be next week, Thursday, same time, 4 to 5. And it's going to be an interesting one. We're going to be talking about startups, building sustainable startups in Africa. And it's going to be taken by one of our faculty members, Esther Joshua. She's been with us for quite a while. She's a graduate of Management Information Science Systems from the best university in Nigeria currently, Covenant University. Unilag boys will beg to differ, but they say they are the best university. So tune in next week. Thank you so much and have a good evening.